Hello friends, I am Madhuri Tail. Today we are discussing a topic, space complexity and growth of functions. In previous videos we have already seen the basics of algorithm, then time complexity. We have also verified the time complexity for different kind of loops. We have identified specially the for loop, while loop and various conditional statements in that in those lectures. Now proceeding towards the next topic, that is space complexity and growth of functions. Time complexity and space complexity comes together whenever we talk about. So proceeding further for the topic. So here the space complexity, uh, as we know regarding a space, always we used to say space means something in terms of memory will be definitely there. So for computers definitely it will be the amount of memory. So I can define the space complexity is the amount of memory the algorithm oblique the program needs to run for completion. So the total memory space I am defining here it as S of p, and where that p value is nothing but divided into two parts. One is a fixed part and one is a variable part. When I am saying a fixed part, that is needed for instruction space, byte code, simple variable space, constant space. So this fixed part I'll be naming it as C, and for a variable part it is something with the particular instance of input and output data. So I'm calling this as S of p instance. So the total formula becomes S of p, the total memory space, equals to the fixed part C plus the variable part S suffix p, that is instance. So moving ahead to understand this concept in detail with the example. So example 1, here small algorithm is given having name ABC and having the values or the variables are also ABC, and it's returning the combination of a value related with ABC. So this function has only fixed space requirement. Why we are saying like this? Because this function is having variable ABC and no instances are there for any other variable or any other thing. So I can say that if I'll be calling the formula of memory space, so it is S of p equals to C plus SP. Here for C equals to ABC, 3 byte codes required because we have used 3 variables A, B and C. Each variable will need 1 byte code. So total 3 byte codes will be required for this algorithm to run. Now this fixed part is okay with the 3 bytes code. Now please verify the variable part. Here variable part is nothing. No instance is there for any variable. So I can say SP equals to 0. So total memory space required for this algorithm to run is constant, that means 3 byte. So for any constant the space complexity will be O of 1. So in general I can say that even the algorithm, any code, if it runs constant time, even 10 times, 20 times, 100 times, so I can say that means for the constant time, so it will be the constant value, space complexity value will be O of 1. Now let us go ahead with second example. Example 2. This is just a code for a summation of int array and int n. A code is written and where I is going from 0 to n, then temp, that temp plus array is done, and that way. Now you please verify at least for identifying the fixed part that we know how many variables are there. So you can verify how many variables are there. There is a variable I, there is a variable temp, and again one more thing is there, that is nth variable. Okay, so I, then temp and n are 3 variables. Array is an instance. Array is a variable part because array can have n value. Is it okay? So this way that S of p, the variable part, comes here into the picture. So the fixed part, 3 byte codes will be required for I, then temp, and for n variable. ठीक है, but for the array it is a variable part, it depends upon the value of n. So now let us analyze that how we can write the memory requirement for this code. So we can write here the variable part is sp, that is n for array, and the fixed part is c equals to 3, that is for n, I and m. So the total memory space requirement here is n plus 3. So this is the order of n. So I can say here the space complexity will be O of n. Even it is n plus 10, the complexity will be O of n. Now proceeding further. Now let us take another example. Again it's small, the small code is given here. One function is defined and one array is there and one value is defined. So now let us take that your for loop is moving from 0 to n, and that way the values are there. Again, how we can analyze it? We know that the memory space requirement is s of p equals to constant plus variable part. So let us calculate for the constant part, that is for the c value. So please verify how many variables are there. So you can verify array is there? No, array is a variable part. Then n is a variable, r is a variable, r1 is a variable, and again I is a variable. So we can calculate the c value, that is a fixed part for 4 variables. 4 byte codes will be required, and your array is having nth value, means it's a variable part. At runtime this value will be defined. So therefore total space requirement will be 4 byte codes for this 4 variables, and for the array n values. So we can write s of p equals to c plus sp. Here sp equals to n, that is the variable part, and c equals to 4, that is a fixed part, that is for the variables r, r1, I and n. So total we can say 4 byte codes required. So the total complexity is here n plus 4, and again your order of polynomial is here n. So the answer is O of n. Hope you understood it. So proceeding further. Now example 4. This is altogether a different example from previous 3 example. This is a recursive algorithm. So we have written a code for a recursive algorithm a and n. We are verifying the value of n, then returning 0. In else part we are recursively calling the function recursive, that is REC, and we are calling it by three variables. They are a, n minus 1 and a of n. So at least from the statement of return REC a comma n minus 1 a of n, I can verify that 3 variables, 3 byte codes will be required for this 3 thing, these 3 variables. And then we'll think upon how far your this recursive function will work. It depends upon the value of your n. So when a recursion is there, a stack concept comes into the picture. So I can define the memory space equals to s of p equals to c plus sp. Recursive function uses stacks. It is for the formal parameters, then the local variable, and for the return. So for these 3 things, 3 variables were those were given, and from this we can calculate the value. So here a, then n minus 1 a of n, these are 3 things that are to be returned, that are to be calculated. So total 3 bytes. Now we'll be executing this whole loop n times, because the recursion will be called n times. So total it will be 3n. Again the order of polynomial is O of n. So this way we can calculate the space complexity for recursive algorithm also. So for that you should know that stack uses these 3 parameters, and that way we use to calculate the space complexity. Now Moving ahead to the growth of functions, how your functions, the running time functions looks like. So the first one is a constant running time, that is 1. Instructions are executed once or few times. So we will be calling that running time function as O of 1 or 1. Then it can be logarithmic, that is log of n. So whenever there are fractions or smaller part of your n, then we use log term. Like in binary search, we have made two fractions, so it was log of n to the base 2. So depending upon your fractions, you use the log term. Okay, so proceeding. N linear, it is the n times, like a linear search. In that we search the element for n times. The worst case that we have to search it for n times. Then n log n, the combination of your linear and the logarithmic. So both ways it is for that kind of problem. We'll verify this n log n for some algorithms. Then n square, quadratic. Again this can be we have seen number of examples when for loops are executing in one another. So that way n square, we'll call it as quadratic. Then n cube, that is cubic, that is processing of triples of data, triples nested loops. Then n to the power k, polynomial time. Then 2 to the power exponential time. This is what we can call it as the worst case analysis, or the worst case kind of output that we found as of a worst case analysis 2 to the power n, and we call it as exponential. Now let us analyze how all these running times looks, or when we plot it on a graph paper, or how far when we put the values, how they calculate their values. So now let us concentrate on this slide. You will be finding that if the n value in the red color, it is 1, 10, 100 and 1000, then how your all values on the right hand side, 1 log n, again n log n square, n cube and 2 to the power n works. So when the n value is 1, for complex for your constant code it is 1. For log n time, log of 1 it will be 0.0. Then n 1, then n log l 1 into 0.0, that is n into log n, it is 0. N square, that is 1 into 1, n cube 1, and 2 to the power n, that is 2 to the power 1 equals to 2. So for each row in your x axis you put the value of n, and you will be getting the values for corresponding that nth value. So now suppose n equals to 10, please see the row of n equals to 10 right hand side. So for n equals to 10, constant is 1, log n of that 10 3.32, then again n as it is 10, then n log n, that is 10 into 3.32, that is 33, round off. Then n square, that is 10 square, that is 100, then 1000 1024. Again by putting 100 and 1000, we are getting altogether very far or very greater values in the last column. So that yellow colored column you can verify, these are the exponential values. Now why we are doing this kind of analysis? Because we want to know that how many operations going to be performed when your complexity goes like this. So you can verify the complexity starts from 1 and it goes up to 2 to the power n. Now let us analyze all these values, all these growth of functions, all these complexities on the graph paper. So now the complexity graph says it is between root n and log n. So you can verify that here it is in between of your y axis, and root n is above all of that. Proceeding further. Now you just verify from your n log n square, n cube, and now n to the power 10, how your number of operations are directly growing above. So you can verify depending upon your value how your graph of number of operation goes with quadratic, then cubic and exponential, that is n to the power 10. Let us go ahead. Now this is a what we can call it as when we have seen different searching algorithms, or what we can call it as the sorting methods. So we found these are the results. So this is, if suppose the best case is there, so in best case your algorithm works for sorting, so what will be the space complexity, then for the worst what should be the complexity, and in the average case what should be the complexity. In the next lecture also we will going to see that how we go for this kind of operation or this kind of analysis as best, worst and average. Here only we will be just verifying that how the complexities, space complexities are there for different sorting methods. So for bubble sort, O of 1 in the best case, for worst case also and average case also. For selection sort, same as your bubble sort, that is all values are O of 1. For insertion sort also O of 1. For merge sort, they are O of n for best case, worst case and average case. Now let us analyze for the quick sort. It is, in the best case it is O of log n, in the worst case it is O of n, and in the average case it is O of log of n. So this is just a analysis or the space complexity answers for the different types of sorting. So hope you understood the space complexity and how the growth of functions we can plot it on the graph paper. And we have analyzed that n to the power n is the highest kind of time complexity can be there for a given code, and the minimum will be O of 1 for the constant code, for the constant code. So when assignment or when problem is there, problems are there to solve for the finding the space complexity, so you can verify the space complexity for swap operation or swap algorithms, then maximum, finding maximum, finding minimum for matrix display and for matrix multiplication. So try to calculate the answer for this problem. Will verify the answers in your window or in your comment box. So proceeding further. So thank you for watching this video. This was regarding a space complexity and the growth of functions. Hope you understood the concept, the and the calculations. In the next lecture we will continue with the asymptotic notations. This is a very important part under the umbrella of design and analysis of algorithms, and the basic things under that umbrella is the best case, the worst case and the average case. In general we call them as big O notation, then omega notation and theta notation. So thank you for watching this video.